Arabia was mostly desert, life here was very difficult. People lived in small tribes, they had their own traditions. Idol worship was very common. Makkah was a very important city. Because the Kaaba was here, people came from far and wide for pilgrimage. This was the era of ignorance. In such an era of ignorance, when the world was drowned in darkness, humanity had lost its way, and oppression was rampant, the poison of hatred and enmity had filled the hearts of people. Everywhere there was ignorance and misguidance, and humanity had lost its true identity. In such a time, Allah, in His mercy, sent Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, into this world. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was born, and his birth was like a ray of light. His, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, arrival was a message of new hope for humanity. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, belonged to a very noble family, the Banu Hashim clan, which was famous for its honor and dignity. His, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, father's name was Abdullah, and his mother's name was Amina. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was raised in a very respectable and honorable household. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, received his first revelation at the age of 40. When he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was engaged in worship in the cave of Hira, Allah sent his angel Jibrail as to deliver the first message to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This revelation was a new beginning for him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and for all of humanity. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was the last prophet of Allah, who came to complete the series of all prophets. His, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, message was for all humanity, and he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, called everyone towards the worship of one God. The Quran was revealed to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the final message of Allah. This is the guidance that shows humanity the right path and is a source of guidance for all times. The Quran is the final word of Allah, full of mercy and guidance. It is a source of light for humanity, which removes darkness and shows the path of truth. The Quran teaches the oneness of Allah, which gives the message of worshipping one God and living life according to His will. This is the message of monotheism, which saves man from idolatry and misguidance. It contains the message of humanity, ethics, and justice. The Quran teaches humanity, teaches us to understand and adopt ethical values. It gives the message of justice and fairness, and guides every person to treat each other with kindness and justice. The life of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was a living example of this message, which is a source of light for every human being. The Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, invited people to Islam. Many people supported him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But some people opposed him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muslims faced a lot of oppression, but their faith remained strong. The companions of the Prophet, made many sacrifices. Yet Islam continued to spread. This was all possible only with the help of Allah. When the oppression became unbearable, Allah ordered the migration. Muslims left Mecca and migrated to Medina. This marked the beginning of the Hijri calendar. The foundation of the Islamic State was laid in Medina. Masjid-e-Nabawi was built. Muslims became one nation. This was the beginning of a new era for Islam. The message of Islam continued to spread, but opposition also grew. Many battles had to be fought, like Badr, Uhud, Khandak, and so on. These battles were fought only in self-defense. In these, Muslims showed great courage and bravery. Muslims were victorious in the Battle of Badr, but they faced difficulties in the Battle of Uhud. After the passing of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the era of the rightly guided caliphs began. This era was a crucial phase in Islamic history, from where the real rise of the Islamic Empire begins. After the Prophet's, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, death, Muslims needed a new leader who could guide them forward based on his, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, principles. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, R.A., was chosen as the first caliph. His era was very important for Muslims because he established the Islamic Empire on strong foundations. He united the Muslims and guided them, which gave the Islamic Empire its first strong step forward. After him, Hazrat Umar Farooq, R.A., became the caliph. During his reign, the Islamic Empire achieved many conquests. He established a system of justice and fairness and spread the Islamic Empire far and wide. His era was a new chapter in Islamic history. Hazrat Usman Ghani, R.A., also expanded the Islamic Empire. During his reign, the Quran was compiled into a written form which remains a source of guidance for Muslims to this day. He further strengthened the Islamic Empire and conquered new territories. Hazrat Ali, R.A., became the caliph. His era is also a significant part of Islamic history. Hazrat Ali, R.A., delivered the message of justice and fairness to Muslims and guided them. He further strengthened the Islamic Empire and conquered new territories. During this era, the Islamic Empire spread far and wide. Islamic conquest not only conquered new territories but also spread Islamic civilization and culture in those regions. Muslims established a system of justice and fairness in new territories and governed them based on Islamic principles. Iraq, Iran, Syria, and many other regions became part of the Islamic Empire. The influence of Islamic civilization and culture is visible in these regions. Muslims established a system of justice and fairness in these regions and governed them based on Islamic principles. Egypt also became part of the Islamic Empire. The influence of Islamic civilization and culture is visible in Egypt. Muslims established a system of justice and fairness in Egypt and governed it based on Islamic principles. The Islamic Empire became a powerful empire. Muslims not only conquered new territories but also established a system of justice and fairness in those regions and governed them based on Islamic principles. The Islamic Empire delivered the message of justice and fairness to the world and governed them based on Islamic principles. All this was possible only with the help of Allah. Muslims, with their guidance and the help of Allah, conquered new territories and governed them based on Islamic principles. The rise of the Islamic Empire was a result of Allah's help and the guidance of Muslims. The reason for the Islamic conquest was not just warfare. It wasn't just a game of swords and arrows, but the result of a great vision and passion. Rather, its real reason was the power of faith. Faith, which had settled in the heart of every Muslim, gave them the courage to face every challenge. Muslims believed in Allah. Their faith was so strong that even in the most difficult of times, they would seek help from their Lord and trust in Him. They would act upon the Quran and Sunnah. The Quran and Sunnah were not just books for them, but a way of life. Every decision, every action was based on these teachings. They were the guardians of human values. Their goal was not just to win wars, but to give humanity dignity and justice. It was their duty to care for the honor and rights of every individual. They advanced knowledge and science. Their role in the field of knowledge and science was remarkable. Every young person was given the opportunity to acquire education, and new discoveries were made. The Islamic Empire was an era of justice. Everyone received justice, whether rich or poor. No empire can be strong without justice and fairness. All this was the blessing of Islam. Islam did not just give a religion but a way of life. The power of faith gave Muslims success in every field and made them an example. Islamic history teaches us a lot. It is a story of faith, belief, and trust in Allah. It is a message of knowledge, justice, and humanity. We should learn from our history. We should follow in the footsteps of our ancestors so that we can regain our lost position. We have to strengthen our identity. The Islamic Empire had a profound impact on the world. It advanced knowledge and science. It encouraged literature, poetry, and art. It built universities and libraries. The legacy of the Islamic Empire is still alive today. We have to preserve this legacy. We have to take it forward. Today we are in difficulty, but we should not lose courage. We have to change ourselves. We have to progress in knowledge and science. We have to adopt human values. We have to support each other so that we can regain our lost position in the world. For knowing about caliphs, I prefer this channel. I will mention it on screen.